All right. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Uh, the reason why I wanted to repeat this session already recorded, it's available on the YouTube, and many people already watched it and gave their feedback. I don't have a lot to add for this particular session, but I wanted to start a little differently. And the primary reason I wanted to do this session one more time because many people, the IT professionals, non IT professionals, commerce professionals, medical professionals, pharmacy professionals, everyone wants to get into IT and everyone has to get into IT. So, somewhere or other, people are connected with the computers, either like it, they don't like it, whether they are happy or not happy. People have to use the computers. So, I tried to divide them into different categories. Uh, I just started writing this. Uh, so there are two major type of people in this world: the content creators and content consumers. The content creators are those who create the systems. It can be a software system or non-software system. For example, China manufactures everything the whole world uses it, and if I'm talking to different way, there are YouTubers. So they are the content creators. They are creating the content, and rest of the world are followers. They are watching their content. Everyone has different interest. Someone wants to watch the entertainment, and someone wants to watch the technology or anything. But there are two types of peoples: content creators and content consumers. When it comes to IT, there are content creators who write the blogs or who create the operating systems, who create the websites, who create the databases, different solutions. Rest of the world is a content consumers. Whenever there is a new software we wanted to download, whenever something comes, new AI feature comes, chat GPT new version came, people wants to use it. So even the users do have jobs. That is the specialty of IT jobs. The people who can query with chat GPT these days, they are getting highly paid jobs because you know how to interact with that software and get most out of it, right? So content consumers and content creators, these are the two major categories even in IT industry. The beauty is not only the content creators, content consumers are able to get the job. For example, you are doing some software testing. Software testing you are doing using some tool. The tool is not created by you. You are the consumer, but you get a job. So there is a thin line between the content creators and the content consumers, major categories. Now, if I'm going into details of content creators, there are problem solvers, there are creative solution providers, logical solution providers, and those who maintain the efficiency are the system's performance and all those things. Then comes who is the problem solver. There is a problem, and the problem solver again is a team of people who are going to solve the problems. The team of people are business analysts who are going to understand the problem and make it into a algorithm or a flow chart or a presentation, PowerPoint presentation, document or something. Again, in the problem solvers domain, you might see the people who design the databases, who design the softwares, who design the entire application and come up with some kind of a diagram, right? Then the creative solution providers are the UI development people. They have to come up with a creative solution. For example, we used to have websites like 20 years ago, 15 years ago, but in last 5, 10 years, most of the people are not really going to a computer and they are using the mobile phone. Mobile phone has a smallest screen. Within that smallest screen, we have to provide everything, all the buttons, all the text boxes, and all the information, and it has to accommodate in user friendly way. That's why we have a UI development or a UI architect position, and they are the one who is going to provide a creative solution. Then comes the logical solutions. In logical solutions, we have to think about the business process, how it works, and how we have to design it logically and make it fit. That's why in most of the entry level IT jobs, you see the companies are telling uh, to write a uh, what is it called? They have some kind of a test, eligibility test. That test does not have any C language or Java language or databases or anything. They are going to give you some set of questions. By those questions, they can decide by looking at the answers, they can decide where you are going to be the right fit, whether you are going to be a logical person or a creative person or a problem solver or not fit for their company's requirement. But none of the questions are related to IT. So that is the beauty of modern day selection process. And maintaining efficiency means you are going to maintain the networks. You are going to make sure there is a availability, reliability, and whatever the data we are saving, the data is going to be safe and we can retrieve it faster. So there are a team of people who are going to maintain the efficiency, not it's a one person's job or one role. And in logical solution and creative solution, you can see some development. It can be a programming, or it can be a UI programming, it can be a database programming. Three different types of programming you will see in the logical solution domain. So these are the major categories I was just writing. If you have any other thing which I missed, you can just suggest. I'm going to open the chat and see if you type something. In the meantime, what I'm going to do is, so these are the different categories, but many of the times the reason we want to do this particular session specifically second time one more time, because almost every day everyone comes to us means the CGC, and they say I want to work in IT and I don't know what to do. They don't know, they have no idea where to start. And the starting point for any person who is trying to get into IT, or the person who are already working in IT and they are suffocated, they are trying to change their stream. For example, someone is working in the databases and they are not happy because they have chosen the database stream, database path by looking at his friends, classmates, roommates, seniors, relatives, or someone gave them suggestion, and they are suffocating and they want to change from the database to something else. So the people who are trying to start, they don't know where to start. So this session is going to be helpful for them. And the people who already started, but they are getting suffocated and they want to change, that is the second set of people who might utilize this session. It's already there on the YouTube, but I'm repeating today. So one other question we have here is, which IT courses are very demanding in upcoming future? This is definitely a most asked question. Every day people ask this question. So my starting whatever I'm sharing on my screen, this is the answer for that. See, very demanding means there are two types of demands. Number one is every company hires someone. What is that someone? For example, the creative solution providers and logical solution providers and problem solvers and maintainers. These people are required in every company. There is no office in this world which does not have these kind of people or teams. But the thing is, how many people require to maintain the systems? For example, let's talk about the DevOps, right? DevOps is one of the stream within the IT industry. And if everyone wants to do the DevOps job, people are not going to get it, because company, even if it is a 500 employees company, even if it's a 50 employees company, even if it is a 5,000 employees company, they don't really need a big team to maintain or do the DevOps work. And in the market right now, there are a lot of people who are already having experience in DevOps, right? So what happens is the demand becomes low and supply becomes very high. And 10 years ago, 15 years ago, this DevOps was a new concept, new phenomena introduced into the IT industry or software industry. And at that time, there were a lot of job openings because almost every company was trying to move from their traditional system to DevOps system, from their own servers to rented servers or the cloud servers. During that time, there were a lot of openings, and whoever got the job, they got the job. And companies were trying to build those systems, DevOps systems. That's why they were hiring a lot of people. But now those systems are already developed, they are already in place, they are all working fine. Someone is required to just maintain those systems. And they might want to enhance something or build something new, but the industry is not moving from regular traditional system to DevOps system. So that is one thing. And all right, so I'm going to share my screen slides now. We'll go to the regular slideshow. Okay. As I said, this was presented before also. So many of the people think to work in IT industry, they have to have, maybe I have to make it a slideshow, right? Okay. You see the screen correctly? Either type or tell me. Question I face. All right. So one common question I face every day. Uh, I don't have a computer engineering degree or computer related degree. Can I work in IT industry? That is first question. And the second question we get every day. Uh, I have a BCA degree, like a Bachelor of Computer Applications or BCom Computers. So what happens is these days there are a lot of educational institutions, and every educational institution wants to sell their product. The product is a course. So they just added a fancy keyword against their degree, and they are trying to sell it as if that degree has a lot of importance. So Bachelor of Computer Applications or BCom Computers or BSc Computers, these are the fancy names. If you really want to get into a degree and you are in like 10th or 12th grade right now, 10th class or 12th class or intermediate or something, try to get into BE computers or B tech computers. But BCA is not equal to BE computers, and BCom computers is not equal to BE computers, and BSc computers is not equal to BE computers. But if you already did BCom computers or BSc computers or BCA, that's not a problem. You can improve your skills by getting some training, or you can do the master degree like MSc computers or MCA or MBA or something. So 3-year degree in most of the places, especially in US, is kind of either not acceptable or rarely acceptable. But 4 years degree, otherwise master degree, is universally accepted across the world, right? So what is the prerequisite for working in IT job is any university degree. It can be a bachelor degree or it can be master degree. And there may be some people who don't even have any degree and they are the masters in computer, but they are the exceptional people. We don't have to copy them and just decide, oh, they are getting the job, so I can get the job. And one other important prerequisite for people to come into computers is the quick learner. You cannot take forever to learn. Even if you get a job, someday your manager will come and say, we are starting to use a new tool or a new technology. And within a week, we have to start using that technology and become expert in that technology. You cannot say, I need 3 months of time, 6 months of time. That's not going to happen. So you have to be a quick learner. Quick learner, again, two different things: domain and technology. You have to learn the domain quickly. For example, you are coming from a finance background, you are getting into insurance background. From insurance background, you are getting into supply chain background. From there, you are going into government services or something like that. So whenever you are changing a job, you should be in a position to quickly grasp the new industry, from industry A to industry B and technology A to technology B, right? Every 2 years, 3 years, companies start using something new, and you have to learn. If you don't, the company is going to hire people who can easily learn. And one other prerequisite for the entire computer industry, any job, is the customer satisfaction. Customer means you are developing a product, you are solving a problem for someone else, not for yourself. So you have to make sure whoever is going to use it, they have to have 100% satisfaction. And if they come back and complain, you should be in a position to accept and solve that problem. They are saying this button is not visible, you have to make that button as visible. They are saying this button is too big, you have to make it smaller. If they are saying this button is uh, not a good color, you have to change the color. And you have to be open to accept their feedback. At the same time, if something is not possible, something is too tough, something is really costly, company cannot afford, you have to have a uh, decent way of explaining them and convincing them. Yes, you are asking something, but it cannot be done easily because of these issues. Otherwise, you can say we'll do our best. So customer satisfaction is really important in the IT industry. As I mentioned in the beginning itself, the logical thinking, problem solving, these are the prerequisites of any IT job. Even if you are a manager, your thinking has to be logical and the problem solving mode. And whenever you are working in a company, you have to be feeling that this company is my company, this product is my product. And if this product is not going to work, I'm going to be out of job. That is the feeling you have to have. But at the same time, you don't have to be too emotional and get attached to that company. And I have seen a lot of people who work for the same company, same job for 15 years. After 15 years, the company feels this person is outdated, not getting new technologies, nothing. They will fire you. It becomes really difficult for you to find another job. I have some friends who worked for same job for 15, 18, 20 years. Now they are in a position they cannot come out of the job. If the company fires them, that's it. They cannot go anywhere. There are some of my friends who lost their job after 15, 18 years, and they are not finding any other job for 3 months, 6 months. Sitting at home, your kids are grown up, you have a lot of expenses, and you are not finding a job for 6 months or 3 months is going to be really difficult for you to face such situation. So you don't have to be too emotional to the company. Always you are looking for a better opportunities and better jobs and better technologies, and upgrade yourself, otherwise you will be in trouble. One other important job requirement: if you search any job on naukri.com, monster.com, linkedin.com, anywhere, one standard line you see in the job requirement is communication skills, the best communication skills. The communication skills are verbal, written, listening, presentation, negotiation, convincing. I can have separate whole session on the communication skills. But bottom line is you have to have very good communication skills if you really want to work in IT. That is required, prerequisite. And you should be in a position to work in a team, because as I mentioned just now, there is a team of people who are going to maintain the system, team of the people who are solving the problems. You are not the only one. You cannot say I am telling this has to be done. You should listen to others and take the positive feedback. And if someone is trying to be adamant, then you have to have convince the people. You cannot say this is my way and you have to come and follow my way. No, that's not going to happen. You should be a team player, work in a team, and work with others. And multidisciplinary skills, this is the new requirement, modern requirement these days. Almost every company is trying to hire one person to do two or three different things. For example, someone has to do the database work, someone has to do the UI work, someone has to do the development work, and three different things company with one person has to do. Someone has to do the testing, the same person has to do the DevOps work. So multiple skills if you have, it is easy, and you can sustain in a company for longer time. And the people who can say I can do only this, that's all, either you may not find a job. Even if you find a job, the company might fire you as quickly as possible when they they find alternative people who have multidisciplinary skills. And the basic information every IT person has to have is network. What is network means, how it works, and what is storage system means, how much storage we are going to have, especially after these cloud systems. Storage is becoming really costly, so optimize the storage, minimize the storage, and minimize the server time. And what is the server means, CPU means, CPU utilization means. These things are required for everyone, irrespective of what kind of job you have. You need that operating system information, everyone has to have. And application means what, how applications work, how applications will interact with each other, all these things. Everyone has to understand what is the database means, what kind of databases we have, how the database stores the data, how it utilizes the CPU, how performance impacts because of the database. All these things everyone in the IT industry has to understand. These are the basics. And at the same time, web means what, internet means what, internet security means what, all these things people have to have fair understanding if you are planning to work in IT. So this is our topic today. I gave a lot of long introduction. Different career options. So primarily these are the different keywords you see on internet when you are searching for IT jobs. There is something called project manager or technology manager or scrum master, business analyst or product owner, technical writer. In some companies you have specifically, otherwise in some companies don't have a technical writer. And system administrator or network administrator or a cloud engineer or a DevOps engineer. These are different names in different companies, and the job is similar. In some companies they have a DevOps person and also a system administrator. In some companies they have only the system administrator, no DevOps. Somewhere you have only DevOps, no system administrator. Then we have a database related jobs. It can be database administrator, DBA. It can be a ETL developer. It can be data warehousing. It can be reporting, PL SQL developers, data scientists. So all these things comes under the database domain. I'm trying to divide the whole thing into domains. As I mentioned in the beginning on my uh, first conversation, the UI development or user experience or the front end development, there are a lot of jobs because of these all mobile networks, mobile applications, apps, and also the websites. And people who have a creative mind, they can get into that field. Then you have a mobile development, separate softwares, then a regular software engineer, developer, DevOps engineer, site reliability engineer. It's a new keyword, but here again you have something little bit of networking, CI/CD or programming, but the role name is a site reliability engineer. QA. So in olden days they used to have a manual testing. These days we have all the automated testing and also the performance testing and performance monitoring. Some companies have specifically a role for performance monitoring team. Otherwise, some companies have one person doing multiple things, and the performance monitoring falls under someone's job responsibilities. Embedded systems. Embedded systems is in between the IT and the electronics, and some tool specific jobs. So these are the different career options. And project manager or a scrum master, this is the job where, okay, one other thing I'm trying to tell in this whole session is uh, who can do what. So if you think you are the people person, if you think you are the one who can best manage the resources means I have 10 computers, I have 15 people, how to use them. I cannot buy more, I don't have budget. That is the challenge. If you think you can solve such a challenge, I have 15 chairs in a company and I have 25 people. I have to manage it somehow. Either some people are working from home, otherwise they are working in shifts like 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. and 2 p.m. to 9 p.m. These kind of problems, if you can solve, you can be a project manager or a product manager or a scrum master or something. Managing the people, managing the resources, and managing the clients, conflict resolution, and all these things are required for a person who is doing project manager job. Especially these people have to have very good convincing skills, well spoken and well received, and the team person who is going to glue the team instead of dividing the people. They have to bring the people together. There are two guys who are not going to work with each other, they don't want to see each other's face, and you have to get the work from both of them, and they have to make sure they work in a team, work like a team. If that is what who you are, then you can be a project manager. And coming back to US market, there is a huge competition in project manager domain because there are a lot of people with a lot of experience. They are project managers, but there may be similar competition in India also, but I'm just trying to give more information on this particular role. Right. And the last bullet point in the screen, these are the different certifications people might have to do to get a job in project management or product management or scrum master. The PMP certification, ITIL certification, scrum certification, and very good proficiency, advanced level proficiency in Microsoft Word, Microsoft Project, fair understanding of Jira, how to use it, Confluence, Agile, Kanban, all these things people might have to get into this role. Business analyst is a hand in hand role for project manager in some companies who don't have a lot of budget, or they want to have a smaller team. The business analyst and the project manager is the same person. Scrum master and business analyst is the same person. So these two roles are going to have a close relationship and they are going to work closely because those two roles are client facing roles. When you are going to a client as a company representative, you are going to talk to them, you are going to get the requirements, you are going to document the requirements, solve the problems in the sense you are not going to write the program, but you are going to come up with a solution. This problem has to be solved this way, right? So all these things you should be able to do. Either you are a business analyst or a product owner or a project manager or a product manager or a scrum master. These all five roles. In some companies you have five different roles. In some companies we have one person doing all these jobs. So in these things you have to have a facilitation skills, presentation skills, communication skills, convincing skills. These are the prerequisites. If you think these are the things, you either have it or you can develop, you can get into these roles. And some tools and certifications I have written the bottom, the same thing. Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Project, PowerPoint, Visio, Agile, Confluence, and there are some certifications: certified business analyst, certified product owner. Different certifications are there. Network administrator is another job. The people are going to maintain the networks. Uh, what they have to do is they have to make sure the servers are up, servers are running, servers are connected, and all their computers in the company are all functioning properly. There is no attacks, there is no security attacks or hacking attacks. All these things these people are going to do, and they have to make sure the systems are efficiently used. For example, I have 64 GB RAM, and actually I need only 5 GB RAM, 6 GB RAM, 2 GB RAM, or half GB RAM, right? And you have like 16 CPUs, and In reality, you don't really need 16 CPUs, only one CPU is required or five CPUs are required. Efficient usage of the hardware and security of networks, connectivity, attacks, firewall maintenance, all these things are prerequisites for a person working in the system administration or network administration or cloud. And most of the companies these days are using cloud, means every minute is charged. So if you have four servers running for no reason, you have to shut down them. And when you really need it, you can create them again. So these all things are maintained by the network administrators or system administrators or the cloud engineers. And if that is your interest, that is your passion, you might be able to find a job. Again, there is a huge competition. There are a lot of people who can do this work and they have a lot of experience and you are competing with them. So if you really want to get into there, you have to be the best. You have to have a lot of certifications and practice and ready for the interviews. So one other suggestion I can give those who are trying to get into this domain right now in 2024, if they can learn, understand, practice, and become experts in multi-cloud. For example, you know the Google Cloud, you know the Amazon Cloud, you know the Azure, or at least two out of these three, you might get a job because almost all the companies are trying to find out where they can save the money. So they want to have some servers running on Amazon, some servers running on Microsoft, some servers on Google Cloud, and they want to see and compare how the cost is going to be less. So these days, companies are looking for people in this particular domain with multi cloud experience or multi cloud knowledge. Coming back to the technologies, I have listed some of them here, but there are. This is again a dynamic market where things might change quickly, but definitely there are jobs, but there is a huge competition also. Data. So this is another domain, another area where people can find jobs. There is no project, there is no company, there is no software which does not require database. Everything, whatever we do, it has to be saved somewhere. Simple example, we all have a bank account and we are doing the bank transactions. And if I am going to a shop and buying something, that information has to be saved somewhere. Where it will be saved? It will be saved in the database. So we need people who can create new databases. We need people who can maintain the existing databases, safeguard the databases, make sure the data is efficient and it is going to be fetched quickly in terms of performance. So within the database world, there are many, many, many jobs. And in this field also, there is a competition. But at the same time, compared to the project managers and the cloud engineers and network engineers, the competition is little less. Multiple reasons. One is number of jobs are more in this domain compared to those two other, networking and the management. Number two, this is not so easy. Anyone and everyone can just start just like that. You have to have enormous knowledge, enormous training, enormous practice, then only you can get this job. That's why you see many people say, no, I don't want to get into that particular domain. When people are not going to try, what happens? The competition is less. This is kind of a high hanging fruit. If there is a tree, there are some low hanging fruits, everyone wants to get and grab it. But if there is a high hanging fruit, top of the tree, people say, no, I don't want to try that because there is no guarantee I'm going to get it. You need a lot of efforts. Even after that lot of efforts, you might feel, oh, I'm not able to get it. So many people don't even try. But those who try, they can get a job. They might get a job. There are a lot of jobs in the database world. You can become a PL SQL developer. You can become a DBA. DBA jobs are less compared to PL SQL. And there are ETL jobs converting the data from one format to other format. And reporting means you have some data, and the data has to be presented in a meaningful format for the company management. And they want to see how the data looks like and what they can do with the data, because these days almost every company has a lot of data, enormous amount of data. For last 25, at least 20 years, 20 to 25 years, every company has accumulated a lot of data, and they wanted to utilize the data, analyze the data, and create reports out of it. And by creating the reports, you will be able to see how the data looks like and what the data has and what kind of information it is and how they can use it. All other bullet points, I'm just trying to give what all involves in this particular domain. As I said, this is a multiple jobs, the PL SQL developer job, DBA job, all the different types of jobs. And here also you can see some kind of a overlapping. For example, in my office, I have a database expert. He is a PL SQL developer and also he is a reporting developer. There can be a company where you have a ETL developer working as a PL SQL developer. In some company, you might see a PL SQL developer working as a tester also. So in different companies, there may be overlapping, but overall, this is a really good domain. And if I go to the next slide, the data scientist. So the people who start their career in the database world as a reports developer or a SQL developer or any type of data related jobs, they can easily transform themselves into a data scientist. Data scientist is a really high profile job, high paying job, and in next 15, 20, 25 years, you might see more and more data scientist jobs. And you might find more and more new technologies and tools which might be used or utilized in the data scientist domain. So data scientist is a high level job, high paying job. There are too many data scientist jobs are going to be coming in the future. And it's kind of a senior position where you are going to do a lot of analysis on the data and come up with the conclusions. For example, this is the common example I give everywhere. Uh, you have a Reliance Mart in India. You have a Walmart in US. We have, for example, McDonald's all over the world. So McDonald's has the data. How many people are eating the chicken nuggets? How many people are drinking the coffee? How many people are drinking the coffee with chicken nuggets? Burger with Coca Cola. So you are trying to conclude some information from this entire big set of data. For example, if it is a Reliance Mart or a Walmart or something, how many people are using the, how many people are buying uh, milk with eggs? How many people are buying eggs and bread? So you have the data already in your databases. So this information is not like a theoretical information. It's a practical information, a real information. So this information company has it, and now the company wants to use that information and understand, draw a conclusion, and create the reports. So that is the role, and this is a really senior role, important role, and it is a high paying job. And company is going to get lot of information from the people who are working as a data scientist. And one other important point here is the what we call uh, statistics. When we were doing like 10th class, intermediate, or 12th class or something, you might have mathematics and something called probability, something called statistics like a mean, median, graphing like bar charts, pie charts, and all those things, the percentages. You are going to utilize that knowledge here in the data scientist profile. So you are going to show the number of people who are buying the bread with milk are more compared to people buying with eggs and bread, right? So you are creating some kind of a analogy and comparison and all those things, and the company makes the decisions from whatever the input you are giving. So this is a high visibility job, senior job, and you land up here when you start your job in the data field. This job, UI, if you think you are the creative person, you know how to utilize the colors, themes, fonts, and smallest screen in the mobile phone, you can utilize where to put the button. For example, you have a drop down versus a radio button, checkbox versus radio button, uh, a text box versus a drop down. So these are the things you are trying to solve a problem, but at the same time, you are a creative person and you have to have a knowledge and passion to create the aesthetic appearance screens, but at the same time you are giving a value out of that area, what kind of controls you can put in a page, because web page and web application, two different things. Web page means you are reading a cnn.com or timesofindia.com or something. There you don't have any user interaction, but you are trying to fill a form, for example, filling an Aadhaar card form or a IIT application or US visa application or something. It's a web application and you have different drop downs, text boxes. All these things have to be layout in a smallest screen. And even if it is a biggest screen, it has to work properly. All these things you are going to do in UI world. As a UI developer, that's what you do. So if you think you are good at that, then choose this field. And lot of jobs are there. Almost every company requires this particular position. Without this position, there is no software development company. As I said just now, like databases, many people don't want to get into this particular domain. That's why there is a less competition compared to the network developers, DevOps developers, cloud developers, managers, scrum masters. This particular field has less competition. This is again a high hanging fruit. It's not a low hanging fruit. Software engineer. This is a loaded term. There are many different types of jobs within the software engineering domain. And the highest level of job for software engineer is you are the one who is developing a chat GPT. You are the one who is developing a software application, software solutions. So here, if you think you are the person who can create something, you can develop something, and you have that kind of a passion, get into this field. This field has a very less competition. This is the highest hanging fruit on a tree. Almost every person I know in last 20 years, if they have a software development background, I have never seen people out of job. Whenever they lose their job, immediately they find the next one. So this is the highest hanging fruit on a tree, and there is a very bright future if you get into this domain and transform yourself into a artificial intelligence developer or machine learning developer. This is not so easy. At the same time, it is a high paying, high demanding, and high job availability compared to number of candidates in the market. But definitely it requires a lot of sweat. You have to invest a lot of your time to learn the technologies, practice the technologies, develop the things. And this is not easy, but at the same time, it is a high paying and it gives you a high satisfaction also. All right. Some technologies I have listed in the bottom. You can find that any website, you go to any job website like monster.com, linkedin.com, anywhere, just say software engineer or artificial intelligence developer or Java developer, .NET developer, Python developer, you will find all these keywords. I don't have to read one by one. Mobile is a subdomain within the software engineering. So if there are like 1,000 jobs, there may be 200 or 300 jobs which are mobile developer jobs. Again, they are also high paying, and also high demanding. Not everyone gets into development, that to mobile development, but definitely there are mobile development jobs also. So Objective C or Android, those kind of technologies people learn, they have a job. As I told in the beginning itself, DevOps is another world. It comes under cloud, it comes under networking, it comes under security, it comes under maintenance of systems. But it's a different branch of IT industry. Here, there is a huge competition. There are a lot of professionals available. But if you are the best, you can do it. You might find a job. But remember, there are a lot of people who are already working, or they have a lot of experience and a lot of availability. This is a low hanging fruit on a tree. And coming to technologies, you have a Bitbucket, Git, Jenkins. These are the different technologies people use. Technologies might change slowly over the period of time. For example, Puppet, most of the companies are not really using Puppet these days. Jenkins is being used, but companies are trying to get rid of Jenkins also. Recently, in my office, we are removing Jenkins and going to some other technology. I don't remember the name, but we are moving away from the Jenkins zone. Right? QA. QA is one other. I cannot say it's a low hanging fruit, but at the same time, it's not a high hanging fruit. In between, there are a lot of people who have experience as a QA, but if you know the automation testing, there are jobs. So people who want to do a old fashioned manual testing, like 20 years ago, 15 years ago, people used to do a lot of manual testing. If you say I'm a manual tester, you don't even get a job. These days, automation testing is required. It's a prerequisite. So if you can do the automation testing, there are jobs, but it's not a low hanging fruit. It's not a high hanging fruit. It's a medium hanging fruit, and there are professionals there are jobs available. And if you have a right set of tools and technologies and knowledge, you might get a job. And what these people do, they are going to do make sure whatever the software, whatever the technologies you have developed, those are conforming to the quality standards of the company and the software industry. And the last bullet point on the screen, the people who are skeptical, these are the people best suitable for this particular job. For example, when you were a small child, you got a robot, you got a car, you got some toy. There are some kids who want to open that toy and see what is there inside. There are some kids who just want to play with it. So if you are a person who wants to open the toy and see inside, you are the QA, born QA. So these are the people who are always have curiosity, always questions, and they have to have lot of patience. You are going to test the same software 50 times, you're not going to be tired. So those are the people best suitable for the QA job or tester job. And this is a medium hanging fruit. Performance testing is a separate job in some companies. In some companies, the regular QA people, they do the performance testing. So if you are planning to get into testing, if you have a performance testing knowledge and also the automation testing knowledge, you might easily find a job. If you have only performance testing knowledge, then it might be a little difficult to find a job, but there are jobs. What these people do is whenever we develop a software, we wanted to make sure it performs. For example, in like 15 years ago, MSET result, whenever it comes, the website goes down because the website performance, whatever they have tested, it's not able to take the load on that particular day. One particular day, you have a heavy load. Otherwise, just imagine people are always buying firecrackers on the Diwali day. On that particular day, the shops are all flooded. Imagine after 5, 10 years, everyone is buying the firecrackers online and everyone is buying on the Diwali day. So what happens? The website will crash. We want to make sure the website doesn't crash, even if more and more people are coming on that website. So we need the people who do the performance testing and find out how many people can use that website. So it's a load testing, performance testing. They wanted to make sure whatever the application you have developed, it gives the response quickly. For example, I'm trying to transfer 100 rupees from one account A to account B, and on my screen there is a small something rotating circle. It is keep rotating, keep rotating. You are not patient enough. You cannot sit there forever, right? So performance testing is important aspect. Performance monitoring is another domain. I was telling before, the site reliability engineer. The site reliability engineer job comes here, performance monitoring. They are going to monitor the systems. They are going to make sure the systems are up, and also the systems are giving the response within the specified time. For example, I am expecting a response in 300 milliseconds. I want to get it is either 250 or 280, but not 325. Less than 300 milliseconds, I want the response. I want the response in 200 milliseconds. If it goes 225, then the whole company will be in panic. So there is a team which is going to monitor how the systems are performing, and there are so many tools available. But in some companies, you have this kind of dedicated position. Some companies don't. And if you really want to go and search on the job website, look for the site reliability engineer or performance monitoring. There are some more jobs, as I mentioned in the beginning itself. There is a embedded system, cybersecurity engineers, SharePoint developers, Splunk administrators, Jira administrators, ServiceNow administrators, Data Power administrators, Dynatrace experts, Salesforce administrators. So many new tools coming into the market every now and then. So if you learn any tool, any new tool, latest tool, you might find a job. So those who are trying to get into industry and they don't have a lot of time and experience and knowledge and training, they can learn some latest available tool in the market. And if that particular tool can give you a job, don't work for that particular tool lifelong. Work for only 1 year, 2 years. Within 1 or 2 years, you have to learn something better technology and use that technology for your long-term goals. These tools cannot be your long-term goal. Cybersecurity definitely a separate domain. It has lot of subcategories. One of the subcategory, for example, is hacking. If you know how to hack a website and you can prevent hacking of the websites, then you are a cybersecurity expert. And subdomain is hacking. And penetration testing is another subdomain within the cybersecurity. And identity and access management is another subdomain within the cybersecurity. So cybersecurity itself has so many subdomains, and in next 10, 20, 15 years, you might see lot of cybersecurity jobs. And as I mentioned, there are subdomains within the cybersecurity. So cybersecurity is like a big umbrella. And in next 15, 20 years, you might see a lot of embedded systems developer jobs also. These days, everything is becoming a IoT, Internet of Things. So what happens is you have a refrigerator at home, and in your cell phone, you want to see whether the refrigerator is running or not running. If it is running, then for how long it is running, what is the temperature, whether it is too hot or not. You have a AC in your home and you want to control that AC from your phone. So that AC has to have some kind of a embedded software inside the AC machine. I have a dishwasher at home. Whenever the dishwasher is done, I'll get a message on my cell phone. It says dishwasher is done. All these things happen using a embedded system. So there is a system embedded inside the device, and all these devices are connected to internet through Wi-Fi, and all these things are connected to your cell phone. I have a garage door at my home, and I can turn on, turn off, open or close from my cell phone. All these things are happening because these devices have a embedded software inside the device itself. So that is definitely a emerging field in next 10, 20 years. I think I'm done here. You have any questions, you can unmute or you can type.